from the Washington Post.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Emily.
I was just going to ask about Eric. Obviously, you've been playing pretty well and then didn't have a great day the other day. Do you take that and just say, hey, it's one game, or is there anything underlying you look at there and try to get better at?
Well, yeah, he was terrific against Minnesota. Then he wasn't as good, obviously 1 for 10. And the worst part was he decided not to guard too. So you can have one in where you don't play well. You're not going to make shots every night, but you can't have both ends. So it's just part of us being more consistent as a team and, and everybody being locked into what they're doing. But I know I'm not worried about Eric. He's been too good for us for almost 3 years now. He had a bad game. We learn from film. We keep watching film with him. It's about energy and effort defensively and then taking good shots on offense. So, but he's been too good and he's healthy. He's, no excuses. He should play well tomorrow.
Scott Abraham.
Hey, Mark, good to see you. As you know, for the most part in college basketball, February kind of sets the tone, sets the table for March. And I think you have 7 games here in February. After the Wisconsin game, did you kind of gather your players together and just kind of reset and say, hey, these next 7 games pretty much set the tone in a sense for what we want to do in March?
Yeah, we actually did the opposite because we were so disappointed. We performed and Wisconsin was great. They deserved to win, but we can't think about March. We're too inconsistent. So we got to think about, we just say, all right, we're going to have the best practice today we can possibly have. We're going to take it one game at a time and we're going to do the best in that game. We're just going to lock in on Purdue and then hopefully play well and hopefully come out, with a victory and then lock into the next practice and the next game. And if we do that, because we've proven if we're locked in and everybody's on the same page that we can really play with anybody but Michigan so far. Now we haven't seen Ohio State. I haven't seen a couple other teams, but we feel like we can compete against everybody. So that's really been our approach. It's too overwhelming for us to think that way. It's too hard with everything and just, it's about Purdue and we've played them once and, they're playing well and getting a lot out of their team. And so we just got to lock in, but we did talk about being a good home team and having our road mentality at home. And it's just, we got to come out like a chip on our shoulder and play better at home. We've been, the best team in the Big Ten the last 3 years at home. Now our fans have a heck of a lot to do with that. And we've had really good teams, but we gotta change our mentality at home. And hopefully we do that tomorrow night and it helps us come out and play well.
Andy Koska, Washington Times.
Hey, Mark, thanks for the time. The strength of the Big Ten was something that was talked about a lot, like before the season. Seeing the top to bottom strength, has that been almost pretty remarkable to see just like any night, any team can win, it seems like?
Yeah, we all knew it was coming. We knew that Northwestern was going to make a big step. And I know they haven't won as much lately, but they're right there in every game. And they have good players and they're a little bit older. And, if a league was normal, they'd have many more wins, but the league's not normal. And you see a team like Rutgers, who's really talented, went through some injuries, lost 5 out of 6. Now they're starting to play again. So it's something else, man. It is what it is. Players like playing against good teams and, helps you stay motivated. But I think you see a team win a big road game, then come home and lose a game. Well, it's hard. I mean, it's hard. It's just hard to do because that next team you might play at home is coming off a tough loss and they're dialed in and they're really good. And if you don't play, I've told you guys 2 weeks ago, if we don't play almost as well as we can play, we're not going to win. And so we have to play well. And I think there's a lot of teams in our league, if they don't play well, they're not going to win. So last year we won some games we didn't play well, but this isn't last year. This is this year's team. The league's a little bit even better than it was last year. And, you just have to play well. So it's special. It's deep. It's exhausting thinking about it, but that's why we just tried to lock in and talk about one game at a time.
Daniel Oyefusi, Baltimore Sun.
Hey, Mark, I wanted to ask, last game you played Purdue, you guys were down by 15 in the first half. Just looking at the film, what do you want to correct and kind of coming out in the first half?
Well, we've gotten a lot better. I'm sure they have too since that game. We were still trying to find ourselves a little bit. We learned a lot about ourselves in that game. One, how hard you had to fight to get back, and we were down 15, and we couldn't make a shot in that first half. And a lot of it was their defense. A lot of it was just us missing some open ones. In the second half, we made a few more. We really competed, and we just couldn't get stops right at the end. And then remember, we missed 12 free throws, and I think 3 were front end and 1-on-1. So, that could have been a little bit different outcome if we would have shot better from the line. But that's kind of who we've been at times this year. So we learned, we watched it. We watched it then. We watched, as coaches, we've watched it now. And, we did a nice job on their post players because their post players are terrific. And they're hard to guard, man. They got great low post game. They got really good shooters. They run good stuff. They're hard to guard. So they really challenge you. And hopefully we'll be locked in and ready to guard tomorrow night.
Alif Kareem.
Hey, Mark, hope you're doing well. Wanted to ask you about Brandon Newman from Purdue. He had a great game last game against Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's hoping to have the same against you guys. What are you doing to contain him? What are you trying to do to maybe stop that from happening?
Yeah, he's terrific. And he was great coming out of high school, and they redshirted him last year. I was a little surprised because he was thin. He was great against us in that building. He was really the difference in the first game, I thought. Ivy hit 2 threes against us, which were huge threes, right when we got right where we needed to get. But Newman was the guy in that game. So, yeah, we got to be locked in, guard him. We put a lot into post defense and one of their other players that game, and he kind of snuck up on us. So he's not going to sneak up on us today. He still might play well and score a lot of points, but it'll be because he really earned it. Our guys will be locked in to guard him. He's a terrific player. He got great size, and I think he's got a chance to play at the next level. So yeah, he's coming off his best game, career high. Really played terrific, and they're running more stuff to him right now. And so he'll have our attention. And hopefully we'll be locked in and we guard well.
Last question today, Lila Bromberg, Testudo Times.
Hey, Coach. I hope you're doing well. I know kind of you've mentioned just how tough the Big Ten schedule is and not wanting to look forward, but just in terms of kind of where you guys have been at so far, playing, having 9 of your first 10 games against teams that are now ranked or kind of receiving votes. What advantages and disadvantages do you see of that, of just kind of having, facing all those top 20 opponents in the first part of the Big Ten season? Yeah,
it is what it is. I think every one of our home games in the Big Ten so far, the team would be ranked. Rutgers was ranked when we played them, and now tomorrow Purdue will be ranked. So it's a great league. The whole key for me is to keep our guys confident that there's hope, that we can do this, we can keep winning, we can get better. And sometimes, when you're losing and you're playing great teams, and you can lose confidence quickly. And I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're going to get there either. I think we've practiced really well. We got hope. If we were 3-10 and didn't beat 3 top 25 teams on the road, or 3-7, whatever, it'd be different. But we know what we're capable of, and we know we've played a lot of the good teams. But there's no bad teams, and so we're gonna have to play well to win. But just keeping them confident, keeping them working to getting better, and that's what we've done. We've figured out a way we think we need to play defensively for us to be successful. We've really guarded well the last 2 games. Made some mistakes. Every mistake we made against Wisconsin, they made us pay. It was amazing. Missed an assignment, whapped a 3. And sometimes you get away with a mistake and teams miss shots. But that didn't happen in that game. We still held them to 61 points. So we feel like we're getting closer defensively the way we need to play if our guys are dialed in and not missing assignments. So we keep talking about, okay, now we got to do this to get better. We got to do that, and this is how we got to win. So you just keep doing it. And, we got a lot of guys that have won a lot of games here, and, we just keep hoping we're going to turn it on and and do it more than one game, play well and play well in the next one, play well in the next one after that. So just keep fighting, keep scratching. And, we're different breed, coaches, guys, and players that play college basketball. There's really only one gear, and that's just to keep fighting and keep getting better. And that's what our guys are doing. So yeah, it's been a really tough schedule, but it's made us better too. And hopefully it'll help us down the road.
Yeah, and kind of terms of making you guys better, does that kind of help to be able to play opponents early that are kind of going to expose those weaknesses and kind of having that early on?
Yeah, we got extremely exposed, and we had to change things. We're getting better at what we're doing. We're getting better. Teams are getting used to what we do. Offensively, the league's so well scouted, it's tough. But defensively, we feel like we're making strides. We're still missing some assignments and missing some box outs, and our shot selection has to be a little bit better. We shot too many threes in the last game. We watched film. We watched every three with the team, and just keep plugging away. But we learned a lot about ourselves, and it's made us better. And if you're not learning about yourself, then you're going the wrong direction. I still think there's a ton of fight in us, and good days ahead for Maryland basketball.
All right, thanks, Coach Turgeon. We will have Eric Ayala and Daryl Morcell here